always encouraged us to write about our feelings. I think, having 6 kids, it was easy to do crowd control by just saying, I don't care why you two are fighting, just, I don't know, go write about it in your diary or something. So I'd go like, my pen, Kristy makes me angry, and I'm like, my pen is just like driven into, and I'm like 8 years old, and I laugh about them now because they're hilarious and melodramatic and just silly, but that was kind of like in the younger years.
When
when
you
we got older.
Right, no, you did write that post that I'm your best friend. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows she's my best friend.
Yeah.
And then in high school, we went to work.
There's documentation.
We went to go work for our school newspaper.
Yeah, and then I think we started.
We took a lot of writing classes, and we just enjoyed it. And we thought, okay, we'll go work for a newspaper, and then
we really love sports. So we thought we could just maybe break into like sports writing, but it's kind of tough when you don't really have a niche because anyone can write about sports. A lot of times people just care about the final score. So
right. So we went to work for a local newspaper for a summer and did bios on people and Little League recap games. And then we just kind of kept it snowballing. We moved out here. We worked at Sports Illustrated for a year doing stuff for them. And then from there we took on
Jersey Journal.
Yeah, we took on in college we took a radio class. We're like, I don't know, let's not rule out radio.
Yeah.
So we worked for a radio station for a while, and then Jersey Journal did stuff in the local sports stuff. And there was nothing really going on that summer because it's summer and most things aren't going on. So I would find different pieces, like my profiled roller derby, or like a female boxer who was amazing, or a guy who's going on a epic kayaking trip. So I just kind of invented stories and dug deeper instead of just like, okay, I'll rewrite this Little League score, I'll do this again. Right. So we just kept snowballing.
And then like a lot of
and then I took a magazine job, working for a magazine, editing, and then we just kind of just kept it going. It was,
And we got some new cameras and said, okay, well, what would be fun to shoot with these things? Okay, let's develop this little like sports niche where we do like odd sports, where we go do
and
like
we go chronicle them, so then we would sell them
racing or like pillow fight championships, or just kind of these like odd bizarro sports that like a lot of people
Olympics.
that haven't been to. It's like, okay,
hockey.
let's go to Switzerland and do like Santa Claus championships and make a little video on that. Like, what does that look like? What events would be? There's competitive chimney climbing. There's like, it's just like weirdo. That's not just like Derek Jeter played shortstop and these were his stats for the game. Like, it was like a specialized thing. So we just kept doing that, but like being in New York and not having it be consistent. It's not like you can just be in Switzerland one day and Arizona the next day and here and there. When we moved out from Ohio to New York, we came here with an internship at Sports Illustrated. So we already had 2 years of college, and we said, okay, let's just mix it up. Let's just kind of get into it. So I mean, there's no point of us going to separate colleges. Like, why? Like I would go to school at NYU, she'd go to Fordham. Like, I could say, why do you need to go to separate schools? You have someone who's going to help you figure out every hurdle and every, like, where's the admissions office? Where's this? Where's that? Who am I going to live with? Like, all those other questions that you have when you move somewhere else. Like, she's already my built-in person. Why would I?
Well, when we originally graduated from high school, we were like, okay, this high school thing is over. What do we do now? We found a college close by that my mom kind of, never really wants kids to go far. We found a school close by. We could also play volleyball there, so we were pretty jazzed about that. And we kind of also just knew what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to do professional storytelling. We just didn't know in what capacity, where, how. We kind of just thought maybe we'll get a newspaper job or a radio job or go work in Cleveland.
We just thought it would just magically work out.
We're like, okay, well, let's just get this ball rolling, roll the dice, here we go. Marietta, here we go. And we went there for a year and played volleyball and softball and played on a racquetball ladder and all this kind of competition.
Yeah,
like, just competition is like the common theme through all of it.
It really is.
And then we just made a lot of good friends there that were kind of like artsy and worldsy and wanted to get into it.
But I think we just kind of thought we would just get college out of the way, and then we would just get it going. I mean, we weren't like the most studious. I mean, we took a racquetball class. I earned a credit for racquetball.
Love addiction, where they're like,
and
this is what it means to be obsessed in love, and this is
right. And no one, I don't think anyone in the class was like at our level of racquetball, because we just actually played this morning, but strangely enough.
Yeah.
But even the instructor was the baseball coach, and he's like, why don't you guys just play each other, because you're like beating up on people who don't really know how to play. Like it's a class. But anyways, like we weren't like you know, we weren't like crazy about like being book smart. We just
we're kind of apathetic about it. And then we did a study abroad in Florence, Italy, which I highly encourage anyone to do. It was very fun. It was very eye-opening. You know, we went from this little farm town in southern Ohio to this old, bustling Renaissance city of Florence, where you know, you walk out of your apartment and there's just cars and museums and big buildings. Like there was just so much full throttle all the time. And I think we kind of thought we'd be a little more daunted by it. Like, oh no, I can't do that. There's so much. It's a city. I can't live in a city. And you get there and it's like it's so easy. It's just like
there's the grocery
sledding.
store.
There's your bar. There's like the butcher. There's the where you go on a walk to, or the garden, or you know, this is your running trail. Like it just became so easy.
I work at WCBS or Channel 2. I show up and I get my car and my equipment, and then I just wait for them to call me and say, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here. So I kind of have to just dress ready for anything.
Everything she said so far is the same for me.
Yeah, same. So, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, well, there was a police shooting, sorry. So sometimes you'll have to go to shootings, you'll have to go to fires. Other times it's just feature-y story. We did a story last week about how New York should get rid of plastic straws and kind of move.
So CBS.
So there's like a petition to get paper straws in like in all restaurants and stuff, and get rid of plastic straws. But anyways, and then other times
it could be anything. It could be crime.
It could be accidents, crime, fires. Story about straws.
Tragedies.
I was up at the top of there's like a ski resort in Jersey that is doing like a program for like disadvantaged kids, and I'm standing on the top of a mountain like filming, you know, with a snow slope, and I'm like, I was just like a fire yesterday, like how like sometimes it's a little bizarre. Like my dreams are kind of bizarre at night sometimes.
Yeah, or like this past Sunday, it was Palm Sunday, and they told me that I needed to go follow a donkey from St. Paul's Church down to St. Trinity Church, that this donkey represented the donkey that Jesus rode to Jerusalem for Palm Sunday. So I'm there, you know, with my camera running, you know, walking backwards, following this donkey. I went up to different parishioners and asked them, what does this day mean to them? Why are they here? Got kids like petting the donkey. So you just get all these different angles for the same story. You talk to whoever you can. You talk to like the important people, and then you get some other side people, some people that are just there to enjoy it. I kind of see it as when I shoot any story, I shoot meat and potatoes, and then I give them extra. So I'm like, oh, here's all your basic shots. Here's the house where the guy was found dead. Here's cops doing their work. Here's some tights of them like picking up evidence, you know, off the ground. Here's the ambulance. Here's the fire truck. And then maybe I'll get some like fancy rack focus on the crime tape, or I'll get some extra neighbor soundbite. Like, I couldn't believe it. I never expected it to happen to this. It seemed like such a happy family.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone just can never believe it, you know, when somebody gets killed in their neighborhood.
Like on Saturday when there's like a deli that burnt down in East Harlem, and this little kid was like, that was my favorite deli in the world. That's where I bought my Takis and my catering. You know, and then the next day, you know, you're trying to chase down like De Blasio at a parade, and you're like, you know, every day is just kind of.
Or like Sunday, so I chased the donkey down Broadway, and then they sent me to a police-involved shooting on Staten Island. So then I'm there like trying to, you know, see when the press conference is going to start, where
it's all very official, and
or when the chief talks about it, and so you kind of don't know what you're going to get into. You just wear, you know, strong flat shoes that are waterproof, pants, and you know, just ready to run.
Just say, bring it on. In our stations, I'm one of 2 female photographers
out of
30.
I think there's 38 male photographers, and there's 2 female photographers that do what we do. I don't really know why there's not more females doing what we're doing. It's kind of puzzles me on a daily basis. I think maybe women get a little discouraged by like, oh, this stuff is heavy, but it's not really heavy. And if anything, you get to a spot and you set up the tripod and you put the camera on the tripod and you let it roll. You shoot, you know, an hour-long press conference. You're not holding it there the whole time. There are times when you have to like chase people down, or you know, Cuomo steps away from a podium and everyone tries to get him, and you're doing some weird like above the head shot. But it's so rare.
Right. So maybe it's like you just don't want to. You don't want to mess up. You don't want to. I don't know, you don't
I
want
think
to
it just
fail or...
women are more encouraged to do things like be an editor, and you like to wear dresses to work. So, you can wear those cute shoes and those dresses and go be a producer. You can go be a writer. You can go be a reporter. But it's not like, you see those guys over there? Look at that guy. He's like...
It's not always glamorous, and a lot of times it can be high stress. I mean, when like the Chelsea bombing attack or the truck attack on the West Side Highway, and and you're just kind of like trying to run around and scramble and get a good position, or put up a live shot, and just being able to see something. So a lot of times it can be stressful, or the derailment, but
right. But I think it just comes down to the thing that you thought you couldn't do, you can actually do. Just because somebody said, "Oh, no, you don't really know math. You can't be a doctor."
Yeah, people tell me all the time when I'm like bringing in the camera, like, "Well, that's a pretty big camera," or like I'll be driving the truck and they're like, "Oh, wow, you're driving a big truck." I'm like, "Yeah," and I drove an RV to Nashville with like 8 people in the back. So like
it's not like you're pushing the RV there. You're just sitting in a.
It's like the same pedal and the same wheel and the same lines in the road. It's not like I'm driving like a semi truck or like taking a kayak from here to Europe. It's like it's a gas pedal and a wheel. But I don't know. That's.
I feel like I want to go to high schools and just tell kids, say there's really nothing that you can't do. And also, given the last election, you realize that there's anything is possible in the world. I think when my mom told me that when we were little, we were like, yeah, Mom, but I'm like short and stocky, or like, no, Mom, I really just didn't believe her. And then you get a little older and you're like, I really could do anything. Like if I wanted to become like a recording, like an artist and sing, I could probably get some synthesizers and some little instruments, and I could probably put out an album, and I could probably, you know what I'm saying? Like if I want to become a psychologist, I could probably, if I was gung-ho about it, I could probably go do that thing.
Yeah.
Nothing's impossible.
Oh, kind of like what I was saying before. I wanted, in my younger years, I wanted to be a lifeguard. So if I wanted to actually be a lifeguard, I could do that. I think it's like if you want something, badly enough, you're gonna go out and get it. If you're just like, oh my God, I want chicken fingers and fries, you're gonna go out and find it. So it's just like, just finding that thing that you crave, and you're like, I must get this thing, then you're gonna get it.
Create your own opportunities. Like if you don't see the job that you want and it's not available, go try something else. Go learn some other skill set that puts you further in the direction of where you want to go. Don't say, oh, well, I can't be a reporter of this specific paper, so bye, I'm just going to give up on everything.
That was my chance.
To just create your own opportunity. So we did a lot of digital work, online for different places. So we would say, okay, we'll sell you a written piece. Okay, and then
do a video with that.
Yeah, we can also shoot photographs. You don't have to send a photographer. Oh, okay, so we're like, all right, let's learn photography. Okay, Now also we'll sell you a profile, we'll send you photos, and we'll send you a video to kind of complete the package. We kept trying to find ways to make ourselves more employable.
And more.
So it wasn't just like, nope, I'm only a writer and that's all I'm gonna do, and it's that or hell or high water, bye. Dom Capers. Dom Capers. He's this NFL football coach. I think he's now with the Buccaneers, maybe? So Dom Capers comes into this dance and donkey job that we had, and just talking sports with him, and he knew we were big, we talked about our being sports nuts, whatever, and his advice to us then was find the thing that you want to do and find other people that you admire how they do it, and follow them, but then kind of add your own twist to it, add your own edge. So find people that you admire and that you respect their work and emulate it to a way, but add your own pizzazz to it. So we reached out to Rick Riley, who was a sports writer at Sports Illustrated at the time. He since moved to ESPN, and around wherever he's. So we just wrote to him, and we wrote this kind of funny, quirky,
hey, Dom Capers' kids just came in today, and I gave him an ice cream cone filled with corn
to go feed the donkey out back.
And the donkey's
this can't be all there is in life.
Just this angsty,
restless.
There's got to be more to life.
Everyone just goes to
that
school.
Feeling when you're a teenager, you're just oh, come on, life.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone in our region just kind of went to school. They finished their 4 years, got out, worked someplace for a year, then had kids, and then just like lost their education. They just didn't do anything with it. They're like, well, I had my education, or my degree, but now I'm going to be a housewife, or I felt like they were just going through the ropes, knowing that eventually it didn't matter. Where we were like, no, we want to like do something. We want to. So I think it was just that whole summer of agitation.
Yeah, like I want something great for my life. I want to be like self-sufficient. I don't want to just be one of those women that just get married and just have kids and just
get divorced and get stranded,
complain about bills, and then just be like.
And I think I might have been intimidated before, like, oh, he's Rick Riley, I can't reach out to him. After that, it was like any other.
I think his writing's also like really like relatable and whatever. But then it also just reaches a point, like you said, when you're feeding a donkey with corn and an ice cream cone, where you're like, why not? Like, what's the worst thing he's gonna say? Is like, he's not gonna answer. Like, I think, and that's been one of the.
That was the lesson that I took from it, is that he's not untouchable. I can reach out to anybody. Like, okay, I want to know what this is like. Okay, I'll email some senator. Or, I want to know this about whatever. Why don't I just try tweeting, or,
Right, like what's the worst thing? Like someone just doesn't answer? I mean, that's like.
Yeah, I can say, oh, you work at 2020? Oh, can you put me in contact with whatever? Oh, no. Okay, like no skin off my teeth. Like, tell me no. I've been told no 5,000 times. Like, add your name to the list.
Yeah, and even if they said, oh, well, you're stupid and unqualified, you're like, thank you and have a good day. Like, who cares?
And I'm gonna take your job later.
Exactly. You gotta have a little like, a little Teflon, I guess, and just, or like Rain-X. You just gotta let things just roll off. But I think that's also kind of what's got us through, is just being optimistic and resilient and saying like, I mean, even like in softball, you lose one game, but you get ready for the next game. That's like how it is.
Yeah.